Hey friend, you have a role to play. We all have a role to play. Your parents had a role to play. Your grandparents, your great grandparents, the great 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 grandparents, the aunties, the uncles, everybody had and has a role to play. But what you have to also understand are the sacrifices that everyone has to make in order to fulfill that role, that mission. For some of you, your great grandparents, parents, even their role was to survive. So yeah, they may not have been the parent that you needed, because God gives you, well, what you may have feel like you needed growing up, but God will always give you, Allah, Yahweh, whoever you believe in, creator, universe, is going to give you the parents that you needed to obtain whatever characteristic traits you may needed to obtain, whatever knowledge you may have needed to obtain what changes you may have needed to change, whatever generational curses that were assigned to you to break. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, respect their sacrifices. You have to also respect the fact that even though they may not have been, the best mother or the best father, that mother carried you for 9 months. She sacrificed her mental health, her emotional health, her physical health, her sexual health, her financial health, just to make sure that you got here. Be grateful for that, because you could have been swallowed. And I'm not trying to be mean, but you could have been swallowed. But it was a reason why Spirit led your mother to keep you. Okay? And that probably was her only mission. Because you got to remember, your parents are individuals too. And it probably was her only mission to bring you here. And that was it. That was her mission. She was done after that. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Just like your father may have been absent, but guess what? His mission was to plant that seed in your mother, and that was it. That was his mission. That was his job. And that was it. And he had to go. A hard pill to swallow. But that's the case for some of us. Some of us were dealt hands that we did not like. But this is the game of life. And you're going to have to play your hand the way you need to win. Now, for many of you, you have your own sacrifices that you have to make. Some of you may have had to cut some of your dreams short to be a mother, to be a father. Some of you may have had to sacrifice your happiness to get yourself financially stable and where you need to be. For some of you, you may have had to sacrifice your time, your energy, your love to get to where you needed to be. So just remember, we all have a role to play. And sometimes the hand that was dealt to us may not have been the best hand, but guess what? You can always come out on top. You can always win the game. For others of you, you have to also understand and realize that there are going to always be ups and downs in life. Now, you can minimize or maximize the ups and the downs in your life, but that all depends on you. Are you going to continue to stay scorned because people hurt you? When you got to remember, hurt people, and that's their problem, not your problem. That shouldn't define who you are as a person. That should not stop you from loving the way that you choose to love, because that person don't know how to love. That's their problem. They may have came into your life to just teach you a lesson of remembering your boundaries and to loving yourself and respecting yourself and knowing your worth. You may have came into their lives to show them like, hey, there are still good people out here in this world. And they needed to go learn the hard lesson because they didn't want to learn the good lesson with you. They needed somebody else to teach them a karmic lesson. And they needed to go elsewhere to get played, to get hurt, because you wasn't mean enough. You were too sweet. You were too sweet for them. They needed a harder lesson. See, God blessed them with an easy lesson, but they rejected it. That's still not your problem. That's a they problem, a them problem, not a you problem. For others of you, you have to also remember, like, once you get to a certain level in life, it's up to you to delegate who comes in and out of your world. And if people don't come correctly, guess what? They gotta go. They gotta go. No matter how much you love them. If they're not coming correctly, they got to go. Okay? For others of you, there are a lot of wounds stemming from your parents that you need to heal. Yes, your parents were supposed to take care of you when you were growing up, but guess what? You are at an age now where you can make choices for yourself and decisions for yourself, and you have to decide to sit there and let go of those burdens. Let go of what they did to you. Let go of what they said to you. Why are you holding yourself captive of what they thought of you? Of, yes, they're traumas, but if you're not experiencing those experiences anymore, it's time to heal from it. Some of you have to also understand that your relationships are not going the way that they need to go because you're still holding on to those traumas from your parents. They are the first people that broke your heart, whether you want to believe it or not. Okay? So it's time to forgive them. For some of you, you may need to forget them. But either way, whatever your journey is and wherever you need to go, it's time to let it go. For others of you, you have to understand that what you need to heal is what you're hiding. Some of you may not think that you may not know what you need to heal. You may not know what you need to work on. Whatever you're hiding, whatever you're not showing to the world, that's what you need to heal. Whatever's in that skeleton closet, what you're trying to avoid, that's what needs to be healed. For some of you, you have to just see God in everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Just like you need to speak to God during the good, the bad, and the ugly times in your life. Not just when things are going well. Give God praise for, like I said, snatching things out of your life. Say thank you. Because little do you know, 2 years down the road, if you would have stuck with it, it would have really been detrimental to your life. So be thankful for things leaving you. Be grateful for it. There's a reason why it's being snatched. Okay? With that said, let's see what else is going on with you guys. Okay? I do recommend in fasting, praying, and meditating the next 3 days. Okay? Yeah, for some of you guys, all your healing comes and stems from your family. For some of you, you need to learn that the foundation that you were brought up in can be changed. You can crack that foundation and rebuild a new one. Whatever you may deem as stability and security for yourself. Okay? But a lot of you guys, you are meant to create a stable foundation, not just for yourself, but for your family. You need to be the one to change the definition of what family is, okay? Because the family you may have grew up in may not have been the family that you wanted or needed, and it's up to you to create a different type of family, create a different type of legacy, to change the way things were in the past, okay? Maybe you came from a family that was not affectionate enough. You may want to be affectionate to your kids, but guess what? Your kids may get older and say that you was too clingy. And that's not what they needed. And you're going to have to accept that. Because you got to remember that was a lesson you needed to learn. Not your kids. Sometimes parents think that what's best for their kids is, it really ain't best for them. It's really best for that parent. You know? Sometimes you got to ask your kids, what do they need from you? Okay? So it's definitely time to exit things out of your life. Move things out of your life. To let go, okay? Let go of the attachment to your family. Because again, yeah, that's the family you came from, but when you die, it's whatever legacy you created for yourself. For many of you guys, you may have Capricorn placements in your natal chart, Earth sign placements in your natal chart. For some of you, you may need to heal from vices, heal from a Capricorn, heal from the things that, wasn't the best for you, okay? Especially things from your past. There's some past behaviors, a past mentality, negative thinking, okay? That all could have stemmed from family, a scarcity mindset. Those are things that need to be let go. And it may be painful, okay? And it may hurt. Of course it's going to hurt. You're literally the old you for a new you. That's going to be painful, just like when a snake sheds its skin. You think that's comfortable? No, it's not. It's painful. Maybe too painful sometimes. But you got to know